Hey everybody, welcome to a CRICUT tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to design your own card. So we're going to design a Valentine's Day card today since that's coming up. So your first thing is just going to start with a blank canvas, and I want you to go ahead and insert a shape. I'm going to have you go ahead and insert the square shape. I'm going to scroll up here. Oops. For some reason I have two square shapes. I did not mean to click that. So the next thing you want to do is know what size cardstock you're working with. I know that I have an 8.5 by 11, so I know that I think I'm going to make my card about 10 inches long. The first thing we need to do is to click the lock here in the lower left-hand corner to unlock our shape, because this way we're going to be able to make us a rectangle. So like I said, I know I can go about 10 inches long, so we'll go ahead and do about 10 inches. Oops, a little too long. Doesn't have to be exact, I'm just going with an about. And I want to do about 6 inches wide. I think that's a pretty good size, because when you go to fold it, you'll end up with about a 6 by 5, so that's a pretty good size. The next thing I want you guys to do is you're going to insert another square. And we're going to go ahead and pull this square down. I'm going to change the color of this square so that we can see it better. To change the color, you just go over to your right-hand side and click the little dot next to it and just choose a color. I'm going to go with this lavender since it's easier to see. This right here is going to be our working space for where we want our design. We're going to go ahead and unlock this one as well, because otherwise we're just going to end up with a square and ours is rectangle. I'm going to do about a 4 by 4-ish rectangle. Now the nice thing with this is we are using all shapes and things just from the design space itself. So the next thing we want to use is a heart shape. So insert shape, go down to your heart. I'm going to actually move this box over just a little. I noticed it's a little off center. So we're going to pull our heart over here so we can see it, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and change its color so that we can see it a lot better. And we're just going to reduce its size. I usually go a little under an inch-ish for what we want to do here. And we're just going to insert our heart over here. And we want to make sure that the heart overlaps the edge here and the top just a little bit. And the next thing we're going to do is select our heart, and we're going to click duplicate, and we're going to have 6 total hearts. So duplicate that heart 5 times, because we're going to do a line of 6 hearts across. Now with this one, you want to make sure that your hearts still go over the top a little bit, but also still go and overlap each other just a little bit, because when we weld them, we need them to touch. Because we're going to have this actually cut out of the card so that it's more of like an empty hole. So it's going to be kind of cool when we're done. Now don't worry that the hearts are too big. That's totally okay right now. We're about to resize it so that they do fit within our box. Come over just a little bit. Okay. So now we want to attach all of our 6 hearts. I do this by clicking one heart, clicking Control on my keyboard, and selecting each heart individually. And then I want to attach them. Now we can resize them so that they fit within our box. Again, you want it to overlap the edge on here a little bit and the edge over there. This looks perfect. I want to duplicate this 3 times. That way all of our heart lines are identical. It looks a lot cleaner when everything matches and you're not trying to resize everything by yourself. It works a lot better. So we're going to take our first line of hearts and put it down here in the bottom. Just like the top, we need to overlap the bottom a little bit and each side just a little bit. We're going to move our second row of hearts, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line them up, and you want to leave some space between all of your hearts so that they have a little space to breathe. And again, make sure they're overlapping on the sides. And then same with this top row. We're just going to line them up a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a greeting card, you know. And there we go. There are our hearts. Now, it's a Valentine's Day card, so why don't we put the word love in it? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just type out the word love. And I'm just going to pull that word down here so we can just see it a little bit better. And I'm going to change the font. I don't really like that font for this. This is just a personal preference of what font you like. I like kind of a blockier font for something like this. I'm kind of a fan of this Bernard. It's a pretty nice font. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this because I want to be able to manipulate the letters a little bit more. Make them wider. Now, I think these are a little bit spaced out, so if you don't like your letter spacing and they're a little far apart for your taste, you can just go up to the top and under letter spacing, just reduce the size a bit so that they're a little bit closer together. It just makes it look neater and more professional. So you're going to want to go ahead and just spread them out. You don't want them to touch the hearts. You just want the love to sit in the center of your hearts. So now that you've decided how you like your love, I want you to go ahead and attach all the hearts, the word love, the hearts. You're going to go ahead and attach these, and then you're going to weld them because we want everything to cut as one piece. So you'll see your hearts lost all your cut lines. Perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. We can actually now get rid of this purple box. We don't need it anymore. So just go ahead and delete it. You can do this several different ways. You can either hit delete on your keyboard or just close the box over here. Perfect. Love it. It's awesome. This is our last and final step, and it's the most important because if you don't do this, it will not cut this correctly. You want to take your cursor and select both your words and hearts and your gray box. Down here in the lower right hand corner is the word slice. Go ahead and click that. And it doesn't look like it did anything until you start moving a few things. So pull this off. We don't need this. You can just delete this. Then you grab a heart and you pull it off, and you can delete that too because we don't need that either. This is the only part we need. This is our card. So I'm going to go ahead and click Make It and show you what it looks like on the Make It screen. This way you can see how you're going to need to make sure you lay your paper, especially using an 8.5 by 11. For this, you don't really have to change this material size, but you can. It really won't make a difference. It just does show you that, yes, it will fit on your material. I'm going to go ahead and click Continue, and I'm going to show you guys this cutting and what it looks like when we are done with it. And we're going to have a really, really super cute Valentine's Day card that you can give to your friends and your family. Okay, we are ready to cut our card out, so we're going to go ahead and load our mat. The Cricut Explorer Air 2 does have the light that tells you when to press it. And for this card, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this in fast mode so you can see it and hear it. I don't like to use fast mode if I'm doing something small, but for a project like this, it's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and click the Cricut button. It's flashing. It tells us it's time to press it. And it is going to start cutting, and it's going to be really, really loud. Now the nice thing is with this, you can reuse a lot of what it's going to cut out in other things. So you can save your letters, you can save the heart lines for other things. I have a couple different versions. I did do this on pink originally, but I didn't record it. So I have little pink hearts that I can use either like on the inside of this card or on something else. I made another version where I cut out the love with the hearts that I'm going to use on the inside. There's just lots of things you can do with the extra pieces, so make sure you do save them, because you'll never know. I always take my extra pieces like these, and I put them in a little box, and then I can save them for later. The fast mode's great because it does cut this out incredibly quickly. It is very loud. Now all we have left to do is our outline, and I will show you how to peel this off the mat so that you don't ruin your card. You are going to need your scraper for this. Now we're going to go ahead and unload our mat, and I will show you over here just how we're going to do this. I'll just put you down a little bit. Okay. So a lot of people use this trick, and I like it, and it works really well. You're going to go ahead and flip your mat over, and you're actually going to peel your mat away from your cardstock. So you're just going to fold your mat up a little bit, and it's plastic, so it's pretty bendy. And you're just going to put your scraper tool under here, and you're just going to slowly peel your mat. And it's pretty easy work. You just want to make sure that you're going slowly. That way you don't rip any of your little lines, especially between your hearts and your word. You want to make sure that you get all of your little pieces of your word off. All the little centers. pull the L off. I guess the E's coming with us too. That does happen sometimes. Go ahead and peel the hearts off. We got to the little thin line here. And you'll see, just slowly work your way until you get to the solid part, and you can peel it much faster. Oops, until it sticks again. You can just use your hand to pull the rest of it off. And here we have that, so you guys can see it. This is our card. I don't know how well you can see there, but it's cut it, and all you're going to do is fold it over in half. I do have the scoring tool. I didn't use it, and now that I'm doing this, I should have, because folding this is not going to be the easiest thing with that little thin line at the top. I should have used the scoring tool. You'd think that would teach me. The scoring tool, by the way, is awesome for card making, good for those paper flowers as well, but it is a lifesaver with the card making, and I should have used it. Alright, well, it's probably as good as that's getting without really breaking anything. Let me get another sheet of paper so you guys can see kind of what I'm going to do with this. What I'm going to do is glue another color behind this part, and then you'll be able to really clearly see the design. I do save the center of my O, and I will glue that back on so that you can see it. You don't have to, it's just up to the look you're going for, but I do typically save the center of my color or my letters, and then I go from there. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun making them. If you have any questions, let me know below. Subscribe, comment, show me any of the cards you guys design. I love seeing your work. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.